Hello, a quick message before I will begin. So this is a third part of this thing I will soon continue. Yeah, the number 3 on the title has a use. I really recommend the second one to go check it and see why I do recommend it, and now to the video. FNaF 3, the first planned sequel to the FNaF and the intended end of the series. It was supposed to answer the biggest question and resolve the story of the key players within it. Will it make it? Will it fail to stand up to the expectation in both horror and story as the finale to the scariest game in years? In this video, we will see how and if it did it. Skipping everything that happened or was told in previous game, FNaF 3 story begins sometime after the end of first game, in the ruined location of Freddy Fazbear Pizza, where rats became rulers of the floor and holes took the role of the masters of the ceiling, which started leaking with the rainwater onto the dusted floors. This peace was not for long, as somebody has broke into this tomb. A man dressed in shadow and equipped with ill intent has awoken his guardians, who were patiently awaiting his turn, as he always had returned, and they knew that he will do once more, sooner or later, and so they went after him. But something went wrong, as they were not able to reach him. Instead, their metal forms stopped the Guardian from taking a deciding step into the purple guy hiding place. Using this flaw as advantage, he struck them one by one, and in result, he had dismembered all 4 of them. But that was not the end. The metal forms were nothing but prison for something far stronger than any metal could ever be. As 5 eternal victims of Purple Guy had gathered to stand against him one last time. They drove him into his own cage, the one used by him ere to bring suffering to the small and defenseless. But this time the suit offered him no protection, no advantage, just bitter and painful end in cold steel. Time has passed. The pizzeria remained dead and forgotten, but the purple guy didn't. No, he still lingered in that place, stuck in his suit that tormented his rotted body, only for him to be found many decades later by somebody who breached the ruins of this personal hell of his, taking anything they found valuable, him included. These were employees from Fazbear Frights, a house of horror meant to use the child-friendly franchise and its old tales of accidents and tragedies to scare the new generations. And unknowingly, they had freed a true monster behind those legends. And so, Purple Guy was trying to reach freedom once more, this time in a great attraction. For 5 nights he stumbles back and forth around the Fazbear Frights, stopped only by so many yards, and the fight lasted before the struggle caused a fire inside of the fragile area, and the fire consumed it all, leaving nothing remaining of the horrific tales of the past. Okay, the cinematics and my oh so beautiful writing is over, so let's unpack what I skipped in the general shortcut of the story. Starting with phone calls, there are 2 types of them. First and half were from the owner of Fazbear Frights, which don't have anything important to the overall story. The dude doesn't seem too knowledgeable on Freddy Fazbear Pizza either, so on that note we shall end. But then there are the others, the old tapes of fungi regarding the spring suits from the old locations. So in short, The mechanics of these suits are designed to be used interchangeably as animatronics and as empty suits for performers, from which the name springlocks comes from, as these spring-based mechanics would lock in the metal endoskeletons of the animatronics, allowing it to be used as a suit. But this had one minor design flaw that make them go out of use, as moisture could unlock this springlock, which would insert back the animatronics part back into their place, which happened while Ständchen's body was wearing it, and effects were not astounding. The other thing was the topic of the safe room, a special room that is not located on maps or in camera systems. That's why we could not see one in FNaF 1 or 2. These were later on sealed off due to monetary restrictions going on in the company. Now the important thing about these tapes is the timelines in which these were recorded, as I believe they were not made back to back in the same time period. You see, there are few inconsistencies between the games and information given in these, mainly that in FNaF 2, Fungi only speaks ever of one spare suit in the back that was of yellow color, saying specifically that they had a spare in the back. Not one of the spares or anything like that, just a spare. Now, in first Fungi tape, he specified that at the time of the recording of the tape, they had two springlock suits, so three first tape must have been made before the loss of the other spring suit, which occurred before FNaF 2, as they continue to speak of springlock suits in plural form, so up to this moment they still had more than one spring suit. 4th tape. About use of spring bunny suit could be either about the mention in FNaF 2 or Purple Guy's use of it in MCI. Then the last tape about the sealing of the backrooms. We know that this occurred after the Purple Guy's demise, as he was found in prison in one of those, so this must have been made not so far before that night. But from the fact that it was Fungi who recorded them, we can guess that FNaF 1 must have happened not long before that, as Fungi famously died in that game, and so FNaF 3 minigames also must have happened not so long after FNaF 1. The past is known fully now. The final timeline is as it is. Oh wait, the year in which the Fuzzer Fry was supposed to be open. From the Steam page we know that it happened 30 years after the closing of Freddy Fazbear Pizza. Now, we don't know if the location of FNaF 1 was ever open, and it's possible that Freddy Fazbear closed for good in 87 after the bite. Then, FNaF 3 must take place in year of 2017 or 30 years after the location of FNaF 1 was open and then closed without ever, being recorded in any kind of way in this series. Another thing that I tried to explain in each game is the protagonist. Here in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we don't have a singular clue who we play as. We don't even start at the start of our job. We are supposedly a regular employee who even knows a fungi pretty well, which is disappointing to a certain degree, as every single game before I could find or do some kind of side story about this, but here I got nothing. So congratulations FNaF 3 Night Guard, you didn't even earn a name for yourself. Now let's discuss the endings and related to them stuff. So there are really two endings to FNaF 3. One in which the soul do not pass on, and in other one when they do. First one is called Bad Ending. Nothing really to comment on it, you get it when you play the game normally. Now the second one. The end. Just the end. The real one. The only one that there will ever be. The end of Five Nights at Freddy's series. The process of getting it, long and needlessly complicated. Just as FNaF as a whole, where you need to molest random tiles on the wall, or figurines of cartoon animals. And this only allows you to play a set of 6 secret minigames, in which you need to find additional secrets, as molesting the walls and floors, to glitch out of bounds. But this time in the series, we are early enough for it to be intentional part of the game. This is foreshadowing for a very distant future.
Oh no, he got too much juice. Oh.
But the question remains, what the hell does any of this means? Well, I'm glad you ask, my beloved audience of 2 viewers, because that is the most important part of this video. The minigames can be segregated into 3 categories. Prelude, 2 first minigames in which we collect party supplies of balloons, which will be more important later, and cake. The main act, in which we go through 4 games of finding crying children and giving them said cake. And at last, the happiest day, final gathering of souls to please them, and just as the balloons fly away to a better place, for the spirits to be lifted. But there comes the thing. In the happiest day, there are more balloons than the 6 on the screen here. There are 16 to be exact. And if you watched my last video, you would know that there were exactly 16 animatronics back then. And in minigames, there were also 16 characters in total. Well, minus this one, yeah. Fuck that Baldi basic in educational learning wannabe. Now to the last tiny little detail. The puppet is still in FNaF 3. This thing appeared in every single location in FNaF, and its mask in Happiest Day was shown to fall onto the floor noticeably slower than the other ones. For whatever reason, it just kept around. After the MCI5 already stopped doing shit, it was still there. Why? We don't know. And well, anyway, that's the end of FNaF. Everything died in a fire, Springtime is dead, Puppet is dead, everyone got an ending, closure, so let's just quit it for now. Okay, so that's the ending, the story is over. I wonder how other people enjoy it. Oh no. No. It can't be. Scott. No, please. Scott. You don't need to be the bad guy. You can just end it. Move on.
Nah. Okay, the outro. So it was nice doing
this month video. I drew for the first time in years, and my non-existent art skills somehow improved. And now it only looks like a mild shit, no hard shit this time. Last time when I tried to draw, it was when Helltake came out, and it went so wrong on so many levels. Like, I still wonder if maybe I just recognized as human wrongly. Like, I don't know, the anatomy was off, so off. But this time it was, actually kind of fun to make it. I basically had like 3 pictures drawn on paper, which I later cut and then scanned so I could put it together in Paint. You could say that it was difficult to put the pieces together. Well, because it kinda was. I ended up having like most of my work concealed by order or cut just so I could fit it on the thumbnail ration. Wait. But hey, maybe I will maybe make more art for the later videos, even for the thumbnail only. But yeah, that's kinda everything that I got to say for now. See ya later, and yeah, you know the drill by now.